friends, today's quick and easy card features the bud twig image from Close to My Heart's Flower Market Cartridge, and I use New England Ivy cardstock ink. Both cardstock is the plain and the one from the 2015 Fundamentals. This card is called Close to My Heart's Flower Market Well Hello Handmade card. So here are the products that I used. I used Close to My Heart's Short and Sweet stamp set, and I only used the Well Hello stamp from this set. I used the bud twig image from the Flower Market Cartridge, and here's that image already cut out so you have an idea what it looks like. I used white daisy cardstock for the card base. I used white daisy cardstock for the squares that I put on the card, and I used New England Ivy cardstock. This is the one from the 2015 Fundamentals. They have a new one out, but I liked the white dots on the 2015 version because it made it easier for me to line up the white squares. And then the bud twig thing is from the New England Ivy, the plain cardstock. And then I used the New England Ivy ink to stamp and decorate the center Well Hello image on the center square. So let's get started in making this card. The first thing I did was I cut the card base from white daisy cardstock, 6 inches by 6 inches, so it was easy to do. It's 6 by 12. Then the next thing I did is I'm going to adhere this these little dots, the Fundamentals mat, and this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So now I've adhered the New England Ivy Fundamentals polka dotted cardstock mat to the card base. The next thing I did is I cut 9 of these white daisy squares. They're 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, and I'm going to line them up on the base here and adhere them. And the only one I'm not going to adhere is this center one, which we will decorate and adhere in a few minutes. But I'm going to line these up and we'll see what the card looks like. Okay, so now I've adhered 8 of the 1.5 inch squares that I cut with white daisy. As I said, I chose this Fundamental New England Ivy cardstock because it was easier for me to line up with the dots to make it a little bit more centered. And you may have a better way of doing it, but that worked for me. So this final 1.5 inch square, I'm going to use New England Ivy ink. I'm going to ink around the edges, and I'm going to stamp the Well Hello in the center. So here you can see I've taken the final 1.5 inch square. I inked up the edges with New England Ivy ink, and I stamped the Well Hello in the center. Now normally I'm going to put it right here. What I don't know yet is I cut this bud twig wreath, and it's cut at 5 inches square, and I'm going to put it on top. What I don't know until I play a little bit is whether I'm going to lay it flat and adhere it like so, or if I'm going to pop it up a little bit and then cut what's between the white squares off to give it a little different look. So let me experiment and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here what I did with this one is I popped up with low pop-ups the bud twig wreath that was cut at 5 inches, and then I popped up the center Well Hello. You can't really tell on this card, but it gives a little bit of dimension. So this is one way you can do it. I think it's kind of pretty. And then I'm going to show you another one which I did slightly different. I'll be back in a second. Okay, on this one I went through and I cut I used little pop-ups to, I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, I use little pop-ups to prop it up, and then I cut the stripes so that it was, you couldn't see it. I don't know which one I like better. This is a lot of work because you have to put a lot of these little, cut these little pop-ups down to make sure they fit. And I really don't think after I did it all that it made that much of a difference. So this was one card, and I'll show you again the other. And again, here's the other card with everything. I've got a little pop-ups there. Everything, not the wreath cut up. And I really think after I looked at it, I like this one better. So the bud twig wreath is propped up with low pop dots, and the Well Hello is also propped up with low thin pop-ups. And I do like it better. If I did it again, I might do the bud twig wreath in a different color and then cut out the pieces. But the twig wreath is so thin, it's kind of difficult to work with pop-ups. But maybe in a different color it would look better, you know, cut where you cut in between the lines. But with using the same ivy, New England ivy cardstock, both in the plain and in the fundamentals, you couldn't see that much difference. So I think this is the one that I will use. Again, it's made with close to my heart products, the Flower Market Cartridge, White Daisy cardstock, New England ivy cardstock in both the fundamentals and the plain. And you can find detailed instructions on my website, Margarita's Madness, with all the sizes, all the cuts. Anyway, I thought it was kind of pretty. I hope you like it, and thank you for spending your little bit of time with me today watching this video. Have a great day.